Welcome to Bay Focus. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm very honored today to feature two organizations that are new to us on Bay Focus, but they've been active doing the community work for a number of years. One of them is called, and I got to tell you, this name, I'm not going to tell you what it means now, but we're going to talk about it later. It's called the Banyan Odyssey. And if that doesn't intrigue your interests a little bit, it should. And they have an incredible work that they do to help the handy-capable. I love that term. So stay tuned. A little bit later in the show, we're going to talk to them. But we're starting the program today with something that is just needed always in our community. And it's called Good Neighbors Community Food Connection. And it is exactly what it says. I love the name, just kind of defines it. And we have with us the founder of Good Neighbors, Tim and Heather Brooke. Thank you both for coming on today. I love the husband-wife team thing, co-founding that you had a heart to do this together. And then I also want to do a shout out because I love to honor our first responders. Tim is also one of those. He's a lieutenant paramedic with the Pinellas Park Fire Department. And so, thank you for your service, everything you do to help people in our community, along with your side job of Good Neighbors, which is more than a side job. You guys do this together. What is Good Neighbors? I'm going to throw it to you to start with, Heather. Give us a little bit of the history, why you started this. And you have two locations.
Yes, we do. So it started about 6 years ago. We realized that there were some restaurants and grocers that had some unsold food, some surplus, some extra that could go out to the community, and they had donation programs that we could get connected with them and be able to pick up that food and then share it back out to people that don't have enough. So we started to get connected with them and get that food picked up and started sharing actually right from our driveway in our house in Clearwater. So we did that for maybe just under a year until it grew a little too much and we moved from our home to a fixed location.
And this was really ramped up during the pandemic, right?
Yes.
I mean, this was like all of a sudden, you guys are a pretty young organization, and then to all of a sudden get hit with that.
Yes.
And that but it also opened doors, right?
Yes.
And all right, so Tim, tell me a bit how this works. I know Heather runs the data. How you guys work this together? What do you do with it?
Well, we have she's the brains of the operation, and initially, it was pretty much family based, with a couple of volunteers.
Yeah.
And our youngest son, Anthony, he very capable young man. We would go out, and Heather would make the connections with the people who were looking to donate food that they had an excess surplus, and they wanted to go to the right people. So, Heather would make the connection. Anthony and I would go pick it up, and bring it back to our house at the time. And she would also make the connections to get the people who were in need of food, and we would distribute it from there, until we, found our location that we're at now.
So you're still involved in doing that. And I will have to say, and I'm just throwing this off the top of my head, the work you do working in the community, even as a paramedic, would give you an insight on even where some of the needs are.
Yes.
A lot of the connections that we made initially were in Pinellas Park, where I work, and we saw a need of immediate needs.
You have like eyes on, you're the eyes out there.
We would come across some people, some organizations that were in dire need of some food, and we would make the connection, and quite a few of them. They're flourishing now. With some of the assistance.
Yeah, I love that. I love it that was like a partnership that really put together. Okay, the various programs you do, we're going to have to tick those off. Sure. And while I'm just going to say, while we're talking about some of these areas, we're going to just be showing pictures, because showing people in action, everything that you're doing. But you have particular programs you do.
Yes. Our main program is called Nourishing Our Neighborhoods, and that's where we get a van load of food. We made a connection with a neighborhood, a community usually a mobile home park, a lot of senior focus and things like that. And we take a van of food, including produce, meat, dairy, bread and bakery, all those sorts of things. And we go directly into that community, set it up in their clubhouse or activity room, where all of the residents from that neighborhood, apartment complex, any sorts of locations where they're in need can come and shop for food completely free of charge. Our focus also is socialization, especially during that COVID period, is getting them out of their apartments or mobile homes and coming to a common area to be checked on and interact with their neighbors and things like that. So them coming out really helped in that aspect too, and everybody is welcome to attend. So there's a form of maintaining that dignity, that they don't feel like it's only for certain people, that they can all come and socialize and take part. And one person might only need one item and another person needs their full week of food.
Okay, so you have this nourishing our neighbors. There's actually, I want to point our people, and again, we're showing pictures as we go, but I want to point our viewers to their website, because you go through great details on what Food with Dignity, community feeding the community, blessing box, volunteers can get involved, seniors, you do things with seniors. But I'm interested in this blessing box. Tell me what that is.
Okay, yeah, that's a little bit new to us. Our New York branch has many, and so we kind of took that idea from them.
We're seeing it, I think, on the screen right now. Yeah.
So that is that's one of our first ones. That is at our location at St. John's Episcopal. That box is open 24 hours a day. Anyone that needs food, it can be a walk up, a bike up, it could be a family with pulling up to it. If they need food, they missed a pantry, or they just find themselves in need, they can come and receive whatever they want that is in there. That is a blessing box there in that photo, but we do have a community fridge right next to it as well. So they can get sandwiches and salads and, keeping things, it's hot in Florida, so we even keep the bread and desserts in there, even the fruit, it's all in the fridge.
This brings up where you guys are located, because you do partner with a church, although you need a new facility too, correct? But you do partner with a church.
Yes.
Where are you at?
St. John's Episcopal Church.
Okay.
And that's in Clearwater. It's on Belcher Road, and they have been very generous.
Very gracious.
Wonderful.
We actually have 3 buildings on their property that we've grown. We started with just one, and that was connected to another, and then a third became available. And we're busting at the seams to do what we're doing out of that location. We started very small, just in our driveway, and then growing into that location.
It's amazing. The growth has been amazing.
Yes, our 2024 efforts or accomplishments in the neighborhood is gigantic. We've done 3.9 million pounds of food have come through and turned back out to the community, and that is roughly about 3.25 million meals. So, and we serve 5 counties in the area. So we're in Manatee, Sarasota, Pinellas, Pasco, and Hillsborough.
Okay, so one of the things, you're very strategic, we don't have a lot of time to talk about this. You're very strategic in how you do this. You really try to tailor the food needs to the group. Explain how you do that.
So when food comes to us, sometimes it might be in bulk, sometimes it might be an unusual item, but we find the right partner or the right location set of people that could use that. So bulk items are good for groups that are cooking meals for the homeless, any sort of using large amounts of things in a kitchen or anything like that. In addition, when we take food out to people, we make sure that they can use it and that they get an option to get food that's going to be, helping them. So pop-top cans for homeless, easier to eat microwave things, or less preparation for seniors and things like that. So kids with things they might not be able to afford, like fruit and different items that their family maybe can only get packaged snacks, or easier, less expensive items. So we're very particular in addition to the choice model. So people pick the things that they want to take home for their family instead of having a pre-selected bag or box put in their vehicle.
That takes some work.
It's a lot of work.
It does. That's just not like, you're not just throwing stuff in a bag and take that and you sort. You are just really dividing, looking at it, and so what can we do? But that is just such a tremendous model for others. All right, we are down to the point, and I want to make sure and get this out there. You have some specific needs. I mean, it could be types of food or whatever you need now, or how do you do that? But also you have a future plan, that you need, our viewers could maybe participate in. Tell us about how they can help.
Absolutely. You want me to go? We are in desperate need of a location that's larger. We need a warehouse-styled facility that we can get food out in larger quantity, easier to manage and store. We have about 75 to 80 partners that we're serving. So those are other pantries and soup kitchens, meal sites.
You're providing for them.
Yes, they're relying on us. So the volume of food coming into the very small buildings that we occupy now it's very challenging. We're probably doing, double or triple the work to get the same food out to the community. So a warehouse location, we've been speaking a little bit to the city of Clearwater, trying to ask if there's any locations. We need an industrial location that allows for distribution of food so that those partners can come and that we can also more easily maintain our own programs of getting food out to those 80 communities every month.
Could you also use help from people, organizations or businesses, restaurants, or anything to supply?
Yeah, we are always in need of additional food. That way we can add more communities and more locations that we can serve. We have a long wait list. So there's a lot of neighborhoods that are asking for the program they've heard of that someone else they know gets, brought to their neighborhood. So we could help more people that way. Our meat supply is in really, really desperate need. We lost a lot of meat just about 5 months ago. So we're unable to supply meat to the majority of our neighborhoods, or in a much reduced volume. So while we used to go once a month and give them 2 or 3 pieces, now they're maybe might get 1. So that's for a full month. So that's a very expensive item and really helpful to people. So if there is a connection for either of those, a warehouse location or sources for additional perishable foods, that is really something we could use for sure.
Okay, well, I wanted to get that information out. Well, I want to, we've just kind of touched the surface, and I want to point our viewers to your website, and we're going to show on screen in just a moment, again, your contact information, how they can find you.
Okay.
But I just want to applaud. This is just such a great example of what a family can do out of their home to start with. You saw a need.
Yeah.
You saw a need and you filled it. Thank you both so much for coming on the show today.
Yes.
And stay tuned on the screen. You're going to see how you can contact Good Neighbors Community Food Connection. And mention they're here. We're promoting the Florida location. They also have a New York location. You can find out about that on their website as well. So stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Bay Focus.
We want to hear from you. Is there an event happening in the Tampa Bay area or an organization helping the local community? If you have answers, let us know. Email us at darleneg@ctnonline.com. Find us online at ctnonline.com/bayfocus or follow us on Facebook at Bayfocus TV.
Well, we're back, and as promised, we have another organization to feature here that does incredible community work, and I love their name, and it is called the Banyan Odyssey. And to tell us what this is are the co-founders, Jane and Bill Williams, or Bill and Jane Williams.
Either way.
Either way. I'm like, which one gets priority? But wow, I love the husband-wife teams today that we have. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
And I want to throw it right away to you, Jane, because people are, what is the Banyan Odyssey? So tell us what it is and what you do.
Okay. When our daughter came out of the public school system at age 22, we were trying to figure out what's next. And we wanted a place where she could live and work and be safe and thrive and all those things. So we put it out to our friends. What could we call this thing? And one of our friends who is a missionary in India, from India, said, well, I think you should use the banyan tree because it's a sign of hospitality, safety, respite. It's just this broad picture of being taken care of. We love that. And then the Odyssey is anyone who's got a special needs child knows that we are on an adventure, and it's not short term, it's for your whole life commitment. And Odyssey, I think, describes it very well.
It's a great way to put it. And I got to tell you, I love your term, growing community for the handy-capable. How do you do that? What do you do? And then we're going to share some exciting news on how they are planning on expanding. But how do you grow community for the handy-capable?
Well, to date, we have had a number of summer camps that have been run, except for obviously during the COVID years. And this summer, we ran a 3-week camp with various themes each week. There was
and we're going to show some of those on the screen while we're talking about it.
That'd be
Okay,
great. Transportation, theater, and culinary arts. And actually, during our our theater rather, we came to the CTN studios.
I love that.
Yeah, we were so appreciative to be able to tour the studios and let them play in front of the green screen. And
there they are.
There you go. And so what we do during the summer, though, on these camps, and we also have seminars throughout the year.
And social events as well.
And social events, right. But we use that time to help not only train, but to teach some of the various aspects of how to get a job or what's important in a job, and just basic life skills and things such as that.
Teaching independence.
Yeah, and those events are, and we're showing again some of them on the screen, and what you did is such a big part of what you do. And I think it's important, like you mentioned, your daughter and the different things. We're talking about people with special needs once they've kind of aged out of maybe, you're young adults now, right? They're adults.
Right. 22 and over.
And so you have a very ambitious plan on what you want to do in the city of Clearwater. And tell us what this is, because I want to make sure we have time to talk about this.
Yes, ultimately, our final goal would be to have a social enterprise and a place of employment that would not only employ our individuals within our community, but other special needs individuals that could come in. But our goal is to have a hotel that not only could they work in, but the revenue from the hotel would go back to support the residential community. This would also include a residential community. And
you would have a residential too.
Right.
Plus a work.
Right.
On the same property, ideally.
Right. So, so they would have not only home to live in for the rest of their life, or as long as they would choose, but a place to work. And also, so many jobs, even though we appreciate the jobs, so many of the jobs that are out there for special needs individuals, they still come with a glass ceiling sometimes, just because they're categorized as special needs or something. And our goal is to break the glass ceiling. Yeah. We have seen through our camps, through our seminars, through others and other programs, we have seen so many individuals just go and blossom so far beyond that glass ceiling.
They can do so much more than people think.
Yes, absolutely.
You can't lower your expectations.
Great
joy. Yeah. And so what are we talking about? I want to define a little bit. You're looking at a particular facility in Clearwater. So tell us that first. I want to wrap this part of the conversation because I want our viewers to get the full picture. You are, what stages are you in? Because I think people can get on board now.
Yes, this is the time. We've opened up talks with the city, meaning we've contacted them and told them we're interested in this property. And I think it's all right to go ahead and say.
Well,
yeah, it's up to you.
I asked permission and it didn't
have. We've had talks with the city.
We've talked with the city about a particular property that's been available, and one of the fellows that we talked to didn't realize that the city has owned it since 2019. It's wow. So yeah. Anyway, we are at the point of wanting to purchase the property or have it gifted or leased for a minimal time, and then for a minimal price, and then to renovate the old historic part of it to become like the boutique hotel, and also have retail shops on the first floor, 2-story, and then the residential housing, like an apartment complex that has, in college we had a student assistant that lived on the floor and was able to keep everybody on schedule and make sure they're out of trouble.
Kind of,
yeah. You'd have individual apartments, but there's also kind of an overseer. Have you taken your meds? Are you ready for work? Have you cleaned your apartment? Let's check for expired things in your fridge, that type of thing. So that's where we are. We want to acquire the property.
So people could come along and be an investor at this
Absolutely.
point.
Most definitely.
That would be huge.
This would be huge.
If we have a, people that this is a very awesome opportunity for philanthropy. For community, something that would benefit so many people. And okay. When you're we're showing you throughout this interview, by the way, their website, different ways to contact them.
Okay.
So please do. But when you're talking about what you're teaching, you have what I really like, and is you have some core values. Mm-hmm. What are you trying to teach? I'm not going to give them all. I'm going to let you.
I know. I brought my cheat sheet.
Okay, we both have the core values.
Well, it's like the fruits of the spirit. You can name them until someone says, "Can you name all?"
I know, but you can't. I think it's so cool that you have specific things you're teaching.
And it's the Christian principles.
Yeah.
So you don't have to be a Christian to participate with us or to be in a leadership position, but you do need to adhere to the principles.
Yeah.
And I can read them to you if you'd like,
Just
or we
real
can.
Quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Being respectful, thinking highly of others, using good manners, being responsible. Everyone is needed. Step up and do your part. Be independent. What you can do for yourself, do. Continue to grow and try new things. Be compassionate, to show mercy, look outward, and our byline is, it's not about me. Be honest, be truthful and trustworthy. Be persevering, don't give up, stay on task. Be wholesome, practice purity in thought, action, and speech. And then be inclusive. Welcome newcomers and practice hospitality. And the last one is be involved. And that means volunteer, see what's going on in our community where we can help out.
I love that. Those are what we could all live by. Hopefully, we definitely, those of us that, are the Christian faith, hope that God helps us do all those things on our own. But what are we saying? What are you looking at in terms, when you say special needs? What are the spectrum of people you're dealing with? Give us an example of who some of the people are connected, what they're living with.
It includes pretty much the entire spectrum, from Down syndrome to autism to intellectual delay or
IDD and ID, intellectual developmental delay and intellectual disability. That's kind of interchangeable terms.
Right. And it is, as you mentioned earlier, those who have left the school, after 22 years of age and up. And so you discover, especially when your youngster is in school, that there's not a lot afterwards, other than maybe going to a group home, and I don't downplay the group homes, but they aren't as robust as I would like, especially for our daughter. I want our daughter to be able to give back. I want our daughter to be able to be a part of the community. I want our daughter and her friends, as we're talking about the Banyan, friends of the Banyan,
to thrive.
To thrive.
So all of them are at maybe at different levels of functioning?
Yes.
Or so when you're bringing them all together and doing things, you have to be real focused on what their individual needs might be for any given event or...
And this summer has been a really great one. About 3 of our campers were considered nonverbal. Well, you get in a circle in group time and start telling jokes and stories and asking, what's your favorite this, what's your favorite that? And everybody gets involved. And even the people that are considered nonverbal will force out an answer. And there's just laughter and acceptance. So you see the growth happening. But in order for them to be successful people in life, they've got to be able to communicate. And how can someone know you if you don't share from it within? So we stress those types of things. And then we also push them to their limits. Keep the expectations high. So
Well, you know, number one, like you said, these events and these that you do and the activities really foster this type of connection.
Yeah.
And again, you're a growing community. I love that for the handicapable. Okay, we're down to our last couple minutes. How can our viewers? We've talked about a few things here today, but put it into words again. Year round, everything you're doing, future. How can our viewers help?
Well, one, they can reach out to us, and I think you said it's being posted on the screen,
Yes.
but hello@ourbanyan.com. We are looking for not only the volunteers to come alongside with us, but we are looking for investors who will join with us in this endeavor. It's a big undertaking. There's a lot still to be done. But we're moving on. We've had a wonderful trip and experience.
things that we're learning, the Arc of Tampa Bay has been our friend and offered some really great advice. We know we need a real estate lawyer. We know we need a developer. We know we need people in the community who are construction wise. And you know that whole thing of making this, we can have the vision and we can do the training, but we need other people to come in and make it
alongside.
to make it concrete.
Right.
Yeah, okay. That says it right there. Thank you both
Thank you.
so much for coming on today. And wow, this is really an amazing thing. When I heard it, actually met Jane at the CTN car show. She came up to the booth and introduced herself. And so this is the coolest thing when I looked into it. Talk ways to grow community for the handicapable. Stay tuned on the screen. You're going to see how you can contact them. We'll be right back. Well, I'm so honored to feature both organizations on the show today, Good Neighbors, Community Food Connection, the Banyan Odyssey. I hope you will connect with both of them and help in any way that you can. And speaking of connect, I would like to hear from you as well for Bay Focus. I love it when you connect with me. You can see how you can email me. We want you to connect with us on Facebook, YouTube. I want to hear from you. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week. May God richly bless you.